Welcome everyone to Unlock More from GEMpos, Hidden Gems You May Be Missing Out On. Thank you for all taking the time to join us today's session. My name is Megan Ng, and I'm the marketing manager here at Common Sense Solutions. Today, we're joined by both our regional sales directors and healthcare tech experts, Ricky Keys and Jason Bradley. To start, we'll go over a few housekeeping rules. A recording of the webinar will be emailed to everyone after today's session. Attendees will be muted and have their video turned off for the session. And questions can be entered at any time via the Q&A button at the top of your screen, but we will only respond at the Q&A portion of today's presentation. On the agenda today, we'll start with scheduling reports, how to round up for charity, getting discounts on heart-healthy items, how to do barcode printing, contests, moving from cashier to self-checkout, executing combos, customer display ads, order ready boards and menu boards, as well as a nutrition module. Lastly, we'll get to Q&A. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Jason.
Thanks, Megan. Yeah, and to go on with what Megan's saying, I think Ricky and I are pretty excited to put on this webinar because these are a lot of the features that we like. We've asked for by different customers, but I don't think they get brought up quite as much. We'll start off with real-time operational reporting and reporting in general. I'm going to turn off my camera here. So if we go to the next slide, this is the enterprise. If you're GEMpos, this is the enterprise. Here's your dashboard and your back end of the GEMpos enterprise. There's a few different ways to get reports out of GEMpos. You can even get them from the actual point of sale if you're management from there itself. Another one, if you look down towards the bottom left, is called the dashboard reporter. So there's over 200 KPIs. If you click on that little gear there, it'll pull up over 200 KPIs that you can choose from and make one report. Usually there's 5 reports you're looking for. You can take any of those 200 KPIs, make it into one report, and have that emailed to yourself or management on an average basis. For instance, maybe I want a loss prevention report. I can take my voids, comps, discounts, all those KPIs and put them into one and have it emailed. The other way we're going to talk about next is going into individual reporting in the reports. And here I've had pulled up a sales mix report. Probably everybody uses this report. And if you look on the top right, you can see schedule report. So if you were to click on that, it'll take you to the next page. It'll bring up this little slide here. And you can go in there and name that report. If you want to name it something different, you can. Or you can name it sales mix. You can change the date range. If I want it for last week, if I want it for today, if I want it for last month, you can choose those different things. You can schedule the time of day that you want to receive this report. And you can even assign what day of the week you want to get this report. And then at the bottom, you can see you can add your email address, or you can add as many email addresses as you want. And this will be automatically sent to you. The days of the old point of sale where you had to go in and pull reports manually and print them and all that is done. This makes it much, much easier to just auto get those reports in your inbox. So if you haven't seen that, it's a great feature. We can help you with that. Next, we're going to discuss Roundup for Charity. For some reason this year, we've had a lot of customers calling in asking about Roundup for Charity. So this is a feature we've been asked for quite a bit. You can see in the bottom middle of the page, we have the Roundup for Charity button. And if you push that, like you're probably seeing in other grocery stores and stuff, it's just going to round to the nearest dollar for that charity, and you can run a report for that. So the next page is going to be where that's at in enterprise. So it's actually under service charges. And under service charges, you can put a description as Roundup for Charity, and then put a service type, Roundup dollar amount. And we can help you configure this. If you need this configured or are interested in it, please contact our support team and they'd be happy to help set this up. The next one we're going to talk about is discounts. We're calling it discounts on heart-healthy items. However, this is basically discounts in general. However, I have been asked by a couple of different hospitals. They said, we want to reward our employees for eating healthy. They wanted to put a 20% discount on heart-healthy items. The system can absolutely do that. However, you do have to tell us what you determine is a heart-healthy item. So you can see on this page, I've got the level as auto apply, and the type is a % discount. Under that module, you can do dollar amount as well. I'm not sure what that would matter, but here we're doing a 20% discount, and you can set a start and end date if you want to, or start and end time, and you can say what days of the week you want this discount to apply. This could be any discount. Let's say you want to have a discount on salads on Wednesday. You could set up that kind of a discount as well. You can do a minimum, maximum purchases, and then you can apply it to be before combined discount. So on the next page, we'll see, here's where you can go in and actually choose which items will fit with that discount. So you can do actually, if you wanted to do all desserts or all beverages, you can do it by class as well. But with this discount, since it's only heart healthy items, we need to go in and pick which ones we consider heart healthy and add them to that. And then that'll automatically discount those items. Barcode printing. Barcode printing, we're seeing much and much more that barcode printing is the quickest way to get our customers through the line. Instead of having to hit all the buttons, look up things, and that takes a lot more time. If we can just scan the barcode, we can get them to the line very fast. So here's the screen in Enterprise where it shows, here's your items. You've probably seen your item set up here. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner, it shows barcodes. Now, the challenge with barcodes is we know our Pepsis and our Doritos, those items all have barcodes on them. That's very easy to add. But what about those items that don't have barcodes? My sandwiches that I'm making, my salads that are in the clamshell, or I'm making parfaits and putting them out there for grab and goes. How do we barcode those? If you look on the barcode button, if I hit the add button, it pops this up here, and I can either enter a barcode for an item that has one, or if I click that auto generate, it's going to automatically make me a barcode. Next slide. It's going to auto generate a barcode. You can see it made it there that doesn't conflict with any other item in my menu. So now if I go from there, if we go to the next page, I can actually, so you see this is the page in Enterprise where you can actually print these labels. So you can print the labels right out of GEMpos. You don't need anything else, of course, but a label printer, as you see on the right. From the barcode printer, it's called Labels. You can do a 2D or QR code, and you can choose to have the name on the label and the price, and you can have 1 inch or 3 inch. The 1 inch are definitely a lot better for gift shops. There's a lot of small items, or maybe you want the 3 inch for bigger items. And you can see the printer there has got the barcode printed off on it. And we sell those printers, by the way. And then you can see my key lime pie here. I've got it on the clamshell. I can put it out there in the grab and go area. They can grab it, they can scan it, especially if you've got a lot of self-checkouts and you don't have a cashier. This is great. They can just grab it, scan it, get out of there. So that's barcode scanning out of point of sale or of GEMpos. Next are contests. I don't think we think of contests a lot, maybe in healthcare and senior living, but this system absolutely has the ability to do that. So if you've been like in a Panera Bread or one of these places where you get to the checkout and they ask you if you want to add a cookie or a brownie or whatever, I know my buddy buys them every single time. So just getting some upsells, a little more margin, or maybe trying to get rid of some items that maybe is end of shelf life, or we've got high margins on them, you can do contests for those. And this is what it looks like to set it up in the back of GEMpos. Very easy. It's under point of sale contests. Very easy to set these up, you can see. And the next page, we're going to show what the reporting that looks like. And it's not actually the same ones I had for the cookies and brownies, but you can get the idea that you can see by cashier how many they sold, the total amount they sold, and maybe get those employees, maybe get them a $20 discount towards the cafeteria, or maybe get them a $25 gas card or whatever you would think of to award them for that. So that's contests in the system. And next, from there, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Ricky Keys.
Hey, thanks, Jason. Some of you already have a self-checkout kiosk or a self-ordering kiosk already. And if you don't, there's a feature with our point of sale with GEMpos that we can configure regular workstations as kiosks that allow you, let's give some scenarios. So let's just say that you have 2 workstations in your cafeteria or 2 workstations in your gift shop, however it may be, and one gets used all the time, one is just a backup or something like that. You can set the one that's as a backup, you can set it to be a kiosk during off hours or whenever you want it to be. And there's no extra charge for that other than just the setup. If we set it up, it's included in the setup when we first install, but if you add it on later, there may be some labor involved. But we will program that screen that you just saw. And then when it's in kiosk mode, if you want to change it, all you do is just select POS mode. If it's already in kiosk mode, select POS mode, and it goes back to being a cashier workstation. And then the cashier can key their number in, and then they can go straight to the next page and start taking orders. Next, we'll be talking about combos. Just like Burger King, fast transaction environments, McDonald's, Arby's, you can have combos within the GEMpos system. Some people don't know that, and just answering the question for anybody here that may not know it, you can set up combos to be just like they are in those fast food restaurants or fast service restaurants. You can select what items go in a combo. So you would set it up here to be certain things to ask certain questions. Then it would go, we would see the cashier screen. This is cashier screen. As you see, we use photos and we can use names for all of our items, or use both. We just like to have a mix there to show you how you can set up your screens. And the very top button at the very top left hand is the combo button. You see a hamburger, fries, and a drink. So it's just going to be a standard combo. So we select that. It brings up the choices for the combo, if you want French fries or curly fries, and then what kind of drink goes with it. And then just like in any other fast food or fast service restaurant, it brings it up. You can program it to be a certain price, whereas maybe somebody gets a better discount by having a combo. If you don't offer discounts at all, that would be your chance to create these combos so that people buy them. It also works for lunch features. So the lunch feature may be the entree and 2 sides. You can do that to where maybe each one alone, if they were all added together, you save 30 cents by getting the combo. Again, just a way to get it through quicker, and also for the self-ordering aspect of it as well. Everyone that owns a customer display to allow the customer to see what's being rang up and their total and what they owe, everyone has the chance to use that as an advertising device as well. When I say that, it only shows what's being rang up when there's an active order taking place. Whenever a cashier is logged out or there's nothing happening at the register, it goes to just a banner mode, meaning that there's banners on there that just may have the advertising for the hospital or advertising for the cafe or coffee shop. You can also use that for advertising. So you can use that to promote breakfast in the morning for people that don't come to breakfast. You can use it to promote specials. You can promote items that are only here this week, or I see some sushi specials going on in some places that they only have it for a certain time. And so you may offer that and program that here, and you can have as many as you want. When I say that, you can set the duration that they're on the screen to where it's long enough for somebody to see, and it's not too long to take up spaces in line to where it gets backed up if somebody's reading it. And also, you can time them to where you put it, if the hospital's having a blood drive, you can put that out there a week early to make sure that everybody knows it's coming up on October 31st. And if you don't have a customer display, here's what they look like. You can also have a rear mounted display, but these are the most common. They're a pole display, and just to see a setup, we have that too. And so that's your advertising piece. So what you can get with marketing to create some splashy looking content that you can put on there. And like I said, it only shows in between. So it only shows in between customers. And next, we'll be talking about our menu boards and order ready boards. Now, everything we've spoken about so far is in the system already, meaning that there's no yearly fees added, there's no software fees added. If there's programming involved, like on the adding the kiosk mode, it's just minor labor to set it up, because we have to set up your screen and set up the way you can swap. But now we have some add-on modules that are least known. So there is a cost for this, in that you may have some hardware that you may have to purchase, and there's a license for this. But again, we're talking about things that the system has that a lot of people know about. And so we have menu boards and order ready boards. And within the system, you can program these. Like, we'll start with the menu boards. So with the menu board, that can be set up with your menu. It can be set to automatically change from breakfast to lunch. And we got a next screen here. We can change it from breakfast to lunch. We could show everything at once like this, just showing sandwiches, desserts, and beverages, but you can have it over each position. So meaning that your grill could have its own menu board, the sandwich and or salad area could have its own menu board. You could have an all menu board. If somebody walks into the cafeteria, you could do that. Again, this is programmable and it's live. If you change a price on something that's out there, it's live. So it takes that immediately. If you change items, if you run out of something and you start serving something else, you can change that out to where you're not still showing your fries that are out or the chicken breasts there. So that's live and it can change. We also have our order ready board, and order ready boards are made for our mobile ordering piece, Gem to Go, or it can also be used in your grill. So if people come up to place an order at the grill for their hot items, so I want a hamburger and I want some fries, let's say, I could tell the grill person that they could put it in the system and create a chit for that person to the customer to where they could take that chit with them and go ahead and shop for everything else, their drink, their dessert, whatever. But whenever it's keyed into the system, whether the customer keys it on a self-ordering kiosk or they tell somebody that's what they want, it would go there on the order ready screen and it would say preparing. Now, once the item is prepared, it will move over to the ready screen, but it does take one other piece of equipment, which is the KDS on the next screen here. And what it does, something's got to tell the system, hey, this order is ready. So the KDSs are already being used. So that's why we put it in there like that, because the order could go to the KDS for prep. It's going to the customer facing order ready menu and they see that it's being prepared. And when it's ready, the kitchen person would actually just bump it off the screen. The order ready board would already know that it's ready and it alerts the customers that it's ready. Now, this is being used in a lot of fast serve restaurants too. You may already be aware of this, but we have it as well. So just so you know, our last piece that we have is an add-on a module called our nutrition module. What our nutrition module does is it allows you to put USDA information into each of your menu items to where you do a menu lookup with the USDA. Part of that, this is an add-on piece that adds some software and adds a software license, but it takes care of that USDA cost as well in that license. This has the items in there. You look for the items in the USDA menu, find your items, and it puts all the nutrition information in there. And you can also put allergens in there. You can add that this is a milk allergen or a fish or peanut allergy. And what this does, it allows the system to have that information. And it contains that information to where the next screen, it would show you that for that item, for that entree, everything is in there. We have all that information. And since we have that information, if somebody asks the cashier, are peanuts in this? I have lactose intolerance and I don't need that. At the register, the cashier can pull that information up and just read it to them on the screen and say, hey, there is an allergen and it's got 27 grams of sodium or whatever it may be. But it's there. And if the person would like, there's an option to print that, and you could print that item out for that person to let them know what is in what they're ordering. So again, a lot of people didn't know we have that, and we're just making sure that everybody does. It is an add-on module, just like the menu boards and the more order ready boards.
Okay, thank you, Ricky. So now it's time for Q&A. If you guys have any questions for Ricky or Jason, go ahead and enter them into the Q&A button at the top of your screen. There is a question already here. If the state tax goes up, how to update the tax in POS?
Taxes are in the system. They can be programmed. There is a tax page for that. Most of the time, all you have to do is let us know, let a technician know, tell us what date it's going to be, and we can set it to where it'll change it on that date, and the taxes can be changed on that date. If you're a super user and already have that capability, all you do is type in tax on the Gem Enterprise screen, and it pulls it up where the tax is being kept. And it's part of the site programming, but again, we prefer you just asking us to do it for you. Then that way we can set up on a schedule. But that's a great question.
And the other thing to point out on that note is to get all the support, you can call our 800 number, but also support@CCENTS is probably the best way to get support.
Okay, thanks, Jason. We've got a question from our friend Regina. Hi, Regina. Nice to see you here. Regina's question is the Roundup for Charity available for employee badge pay or only credit card?
It can be used for anything. You can have it for every transaction, but it's a choice. So we can force it on everybody, but you can also just have it as a button on our demo there to where the cashier asks everyone. The way that's set up is that it's for any transaction. I am unsure if it can be limited to, if you're asking that, if it can be only credit cards or only badge paid, but the way it's set up that I know 100% is that it's for whatever is on the screen and whatever payment they're paying.
It's prepayment, so it applies before the payment's processed, so it doesn't know how you're paying for it. So I'm not sure if we can make it specifically for employee payroll deduction.
But we can ask and we can definitely get you that answer.
Okay, question here from Larry. Is there an opportunity to have a one-on-one to review functionality of the system?
Absolutely. Get a hold of your arm or get a hold of whoever your representative is. We can help do a one-on-one with you, or we can lean on support to help us out if you need some more specific information as well.
If it's questions, we can definitely help you on the sales side. And then, like Jason said, your arm, like Mark or Jonathan. But we may have to call in support for sure if it's anything over our heads. But we'll be glad to help. Just let us know.
Okay. Is there any charge to set up these features?
I pointed out whenever I had gotten to some of the things that were billable, everything is in the system that you saw for over half of what we had shown. Most of this is in the system. The kiosks have to be set up, and that's just programming the screens to align with the items being sold. And whether you want self-checkout or if you want self-ordering. So self-checkout is when you're ringing up everything in your basket, let's say, or on your tray. And self-ordering is going up there, ordering a sandwich, asking, what you want on the sandwich, what side you want. So we need to know how that needs to be set up. A lot of people are just setting up to where you scan everything. So everything's scanned. So there's no buttons on there to press other than charge or credit card or payroll deduct. And you would have that scanner and you would use our barcode technology on there, which barcodes are in every one of your systems now if you have GEMpos. If you don't have a printer, you just need a printer, like Jason has said. The other two, I guess 3 things that are on here that there is a charge, it would be licenses for the order ready boards and the menu boards, and then the nutrition piece. So those last 2 were the only ones that had software SaaS fees added.
I want to point out too, we do prefer the customers to provide their own monitors, if you will, for the menu boards and order ready boards. We typically have the customer supply those because anymore TVs are so cheap. You can go to Costco or Sam's Club, buy one for a few $100. So just point that out.
Okay, we do have another question popping up here from Monty. How is the self-checkup set up? We have one register only in the afternoon from 2 to 4. They'll need this service.
Just contact your arm, whether it be Mark Lehner or Jonathan Sellers, and they can get you set on the right path. Like I said, there is a little bit of programming to do on the screens because it's a different screen than what is already programmed. If you don't have a kiosk today, which it sounds like you don't, the kiosk just has to be set up on there, and then they'll give you a button to where you can change it, like you saw on our demo, that you can change it back and forth from being a POS workstation to a kiosk.
And if it's set up like a cashier station, a lot of times you do have to physically turn the screen around, but then it also, of course, disables the cash register. So you wouldn't be able to take cash.
Yeah, you can't do cash, disables the cash drawers. So again, you're welcome to get with Jason or myself, but if you know your arm and speak to your arm, that'd be the person to speak with to get you going on it.
Okay, last call for any more questions for Jason or Ricky.
And if someone is new to us, a brand new customer or somebody that's about to get our system, and they don't know what an ARM is, our account relationship manager, and that's your personal manager that can help you anytime. You just call them and they'll help you get set up with questions or get you to the right person for support if you need them.
Call them day or night, anytime.
Jason will answer and he'll send the call to them.
Just double checking. We have no more questions here. Okay. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to mail us at sales@csense.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.